have a cold opening, which I think really works for the single. But again, honestly, this was all backwards. This episode, one of the big motivations Rusty Day was talking about is he liked the idea of multi-doctor special, but he always wanted to do the next Doctor, right? And he wanted to be able to introduce the next Doctor. So I wanted the next Doctor to be able to interact with the new Doctor and not be all groggy. Yeah, so I think they should have really opened up with Ncuti Gatwa as a Doctor, frankly, right? And then gone back to how David Tennant, like how they got there. Or Ncuti Gatwa setting up events to lead them in the way that they're that they're going. Anyway, so it starts off in 1925 Soho, right? Far less knocking shops there. Do they still have all the hookers in Soho? Is that still the red light district? Anyway, so yeah, he said this is a famous person. I have no idea who he is, right? This could be Charlie DeMello, if his name is Charles Banerjee, and I think that is the character, right? I think that let me see if I see any pictures of him at all. He's been on EastEnders apparently as PC Jazz Jones. Never heard of him, right? I have no idea who he is at all, right? No idea whatsoever. Anyway, who cares? So he goes into Mr. Emporium. And inside is Neil Patrick Harris stealing the show as a toy maker with a German accent. And the thing with this accent is they're fake accents and they do slip every now and again. This is basically him just playing with the humans around him. That we have everything here. We have games. We have a hobby horse. Everybody likes a hobby horse, and all these weird things he's got here. Really sinister. So he picks out this puppet called Stucky Bill, right? So again, Rusty Davidson said that the whole story started with Stucky Bill because he saw Stucky Bill when he was making Nolly, and he said that's a horrifying image. So for a while he was going to have Stucky Bill as the villain. And it's like, well, that's going to look silly with a puppet. Like, so he needs a puppet master. And he goes, toy maker, right? That will make sense. So he says, are you sure? If you take Stucky Bill, what about his children and his wife? Will they not be sad? And he's like, no, we just need the doll. Fine. So he takes it and he wraps it up and says, I must apologize for the weather. It is, you look like you're somebody who is used to a warmer climate, indicating, you're a white, but you're not white. We hate you. I mean, it could be actually being polite, actually. Like, just assuming because he's darker skinned that he's not from England. I mean, I think that's a relatively fair assumption in 1925, right? And he said, no, I was born in Clapham or whatever. So I don't know who this guy is. Anyway, so he takes them over, takes the doll to Logie Baird, who's making TV. And the doll is they have to have the doll under lights because it's too hot for people to be under it. And it's the first television test transmission. And it works, right? But people are going to say it's a still image. We got to make it move somehow. And just as they say that, the jaw of that goes, does that. And he's like, yeah, it's wonderful. As it bursts into flames. And then we get the titles. Titles very good. I mean, I do like these titles. It might be just a little bit too slick for its own good. I don't know. But anyway, Giggle written by Rusty Davis. So now we're back connecting up to the end of last week where everyone's going crazy. This is the stuff we saw David Tennant film today. It's basically the stuff we saw in film, right? People are going crazy, attacking each other. And it's so lacking in self-awareness, right? It's so deeply lacking in self-awareness when we find out what's really going on. He says, everybody always thinks they're right. If you try and get into a conversation with them, they'll just scream at you and tell you to shut up. No, Russell, that's your side of the aisle, I'm afraid, right? You have a lot of projection going on, right? Look, I'll give you an example. Is transgenderism an identity or a kink? Right? I think it's a kink, but saying that is somehow taboo. Why is that taboo? I need you to explain to me why it's not a kink, when we always used to consider it a kink. if we are going to make, if we're going to call trans women women, that seems to destroy female sports and female spaces. Why is that fair? Why is it fair to the vastly great numbers of Christians, Jews, Muslims that find transgenderism to be immoral, right? That you don't promote it on your family TV show. Why is it fair for you to do that? Right? I understand you have your belief system, but it's not universally accepted. In fact, it's almost universally rejected, which is why I think you scream it so loudly. But anyway, all these questions are forbidden, Russell, right? And you're saying, oh, no, it's the right, people on the right. No, look, people on the left cannot argue. Here's what happens, right? People on the left, and I say left, it's not the real left. The left used to have a bit are just not able to answer questions. They start screaming incoherently when you get pre-programmed responses. But that's it. They are but they can't drill down into anything. So again, real weird lacking of self-awareness. And here we meet the toy maker for the first time. Who's out in the chaos, dancing around, being pretty darn awesome. Unit shows up and said, we're here to take you back to Unit, Doctor. And we see the toy maker again being creepy and toy maker-like. Again, this is a scene where off the side we have Donna going, oh, you make sure he gets to safety, talking about Wilf, who's not there. Like, okay, you could have put a still photo of him in, like photoshopped it in, and it would have worked. Right, this was a bit ridiculous, right? It was very noticeable. But it is wild again. So today I watched it on 4K on my big screen, and it is wild beyond wild seeing Doctor Who done on this sort of budget, right? Again, for me, I find it entirely unnecessary, right? Entirely unnecessary, but it is wild, right? Out comes Tracy Ann Bingham, the unit scientific advisor, who. I'm sorry. When was it Ruth Madeley's character was in Years and Years, I think it was. She was in no way, shape, or form defined by her ability or a lack thereof, of her need to use a wheelchair or not. She was a character, right? This character is front and foremost a wheelchair user. That is their number one trait, right? Which is tragic, really. Right, I mean, it's a tragic degeneration of writing ability. Right, instead of having a great character who has to be in a wheelchair, you started off by saying, "Oh, let's have Ruth Madeley, let's have a wheelchair user." Right, and that's clearly how you did start off. And I think that's the reason that it fails to a great extent. Anyway, she's like, "Hey, we're here." And along with Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, and gives them a big hug. The Doctor, we're so glad you're here. And somebody hands says, "This is for you," and the Doctor turns around and says, "Thank you." And it's Mel. I mean, look, it is lovely. It's lovely seeing Mel again, right? And Bonnie Langford. It's great seeing this spark between her and the Doctor, right? I mean, keep in mind that she was with Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. It's lovely to see, and she's able to play that affection very well. Yeah, look, I mean, again, there you go back. Fine. So Mel's there. Melanie, it's lovely to see you, right? And they have a nice hug. And this is where Donna finds out that she wasn't the only companion ever, right? And she doesn't like it. Oh, not the first redhead, no. So they ask what's going on. So the whole world's freaking out. Everybody's trying to kill each other. Everybody thinks they're right all the time and super entitled to the extent where this plane captain crashes the plane because he wants to land wherever he wants to land. And they have this Bojo ripoff, Bojo Trump ripoff, right? Piss take, I should say. Where this actually, I would say, is a reasonable political joke to put into Doctor Who, where it fits and it works, right? Where the politicians say, "I don't care about you, I never have at all." If they just couldn't make it look so much like a Tory, right? I mean, if you could say all politicians are shit, which they all are, let's be fair. I mean, good God, come on. Jeremy Corbyn was a massive racist, anti-Semite cunt. There's no jokes you can make about him. No, just Tories, right? We don't care about you. And Donna's like, no change there. And then we got this. Again, this didn't really bother me, but it sort of did. There's this alien supercomputer thing working for UNIT now, which looks interesting, but also looks a bit CBBC at the same time. And it's made this armband thing that makes the people at UNIT not succumb to this signal that's making them all crazy, right? It says, I will demonstrate, says Kate Lethbridge. And they turn off her armband and she gets really pissed off. And that's her brainwave goes crazy like that, right? Roar! And she starts screaming, what are you asking me? This is a shape-changing alien. We got to lock him up. And then she's screaming at Tony and Bingham, why, you stood up. Why are you in a wheelchair? I don't trust you, right? Like, it's weird stuff, right, in general. Just weird. It's how I would describe it. And they force the armband back on. And she says, oh, I'm so sorry, right? And I think it's called the Felix. IMDb has it down. Nick Briggs was playing. Voice of the Blinks, not the Flicks, the Blinks. Fine. And so, yeah, the Blinks has made the thing. Okay, I guess it turned up in some adventure that we will see on Big Finish at some point. So why don't they give these things out to the world? So this is kind of a nice callback to 2005, 2010. Trinity Wells was the news anchor they used all the time. She says, they say these ZDX things are going to help everyone. I say it's a parody on COVID. So don't take the vaccine. They're going to track us. And look, darling, I don't know, but I don't believe the COVID vaccine was meant to do anything specifically nefarious. I do think it was designed to benefit pharmaceutical companies at the expense of safety to the users, which it isn't so kosher, right? They can't get into that. So Donna suddenly works it out. She draws the points. She draws out these lines, and then she draws like the dots on, and said maybe it's music, right? And so Mel goes, "Oh, this is a symbol, la 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 la." And it's like, well, so everybody knows that. And when they start singing it, everybody recognizes that tune, right? Everybody recognizes that tune. And then somehow on their supercomputer, which none of this, there are no supercomputers like this. They go, oh, it's from this thing, which is the Giggle from this weird laughing thing. So no, this is the first thing ever recorded, and somehow it's been embedded in every screen ever throughout time, right? It's everywhere, repeating itself. So he wants to work out when it came from. They give him the date. It's October 9th, I think, 1925. So they say, and it's being amplified by this Chinese satellite, and so they're looking for permission to shoot it down, and they can't get permission from the government because they're all susceptible to this thing. So the doctor gives permission because he becomes the world president or something. We're in times of emergency. So what other word now? A lovely scene with the Doctor and Mel where they catch up. Glitz lived to 106 apparently. He died falling over a bottle of whiskey or something like that, which I thought was kind of cute. And they bring out the big gun and like, oh, I wonder if that gun's going to be used later on for any nefarious purpose. Of course it is. We've all seen the trailer, right? Into the TARDIS they go. Back to 1925 again. We've seen all this stuff, this location filming, and we've seen this clip as well where they meet the toy maker, right? And honestly, oh man, I just spilled my coffee away. Neil Patrick Harris just blows everything out of the water here. Let's look at the clip. Like really like blows everybody else out of the water in a very, very unexpected way. Where is it? Not regeneration. Not that one. Oh, did I get rid of that clip already? That's stupid of me. Maybe it's this one. No, this one over here.
Remember the
God, no, leave me alone. Certainly not that piece of cack. Hang on, let's try again. Could it be this one? I don't think so. This is the scene at the beginning, I thought. Where is it? There's 2 regenerate. No. Do I have it? Or did I get rid of it? Yeah. No, forget it. But suffice to say, oh, 1 second. 1 second. I just worked out. I got the full episode here. Where is it? Yeah, 1 second. I'll go for a little bit, and it goes in. And they start talking about the history of the ball.
Stone Age man. He picked up ein Walk. He said, "Oh, das ist ein Bull."
He pulled it and he killed a man.
He said, "Oh, what fun."
And now everybody loves the bulls.
Until they hear 5 billion. Then the very last human picks up the skull of his enemy and said, "That is the final bull of all."
He really is good, Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, he really. I honestly, probably the best thing of these 3 episodes is the hire of Neil Patrick Harris. Genuinely great, right? Fantastic range. Really knows what he's doing. And you get a little bit. This is the touchdown to pass. You have a little flashback of Michael Goff, and that instills. And again, that it just seems a bit underwhelming, which is what I'll say about most of this era, right? Underwhelming. So then he goes, and the second game, of course, is hide and seek, right? So he goes chasing off, and there's a corridor stretching off into infinity. So they start walking after him, but they let the door close, and oh no! Now they're trapped in the toy maker's realm. When they look back, it's just the same corridor, right? So now this is perhaps the best part of the episode, where they're in the toy maker's realm, and you could easily say they're still in their toy maker's realm. So they go looking around. They get separated, obviously, and then the Doctor ends up here, and he finds the guy who bought the doll, who has now been made into a doll. Very good effect, but again, honestly, I just don't think it needs the money that was spent on it. Right? I think you could have done it in a way that sometimes effects didn't work, but most of the times they did, right? And I just think this is overkill, quite frankly. So he had this. They had that laugh going on in his head nonstop, right? And the only way he could get rid of it is if he would play the toy maker's game and he lost and became a doll, essentially. And we see the toy maker play with him, and again, excellent, right? And then he talks him by having him be David Tennant. By the way, just want to point out, I haven't said it already. I think I have. When Jodie regenerated and Tennant, her clothes regenerated as well. Made no sense whatsoever. I expected that to be answered today. It was not, right? It was not, other than the toy makers messing with reality. He says, you will be my next toy. And so David Tennant goes running away. Meanwhile, Donna comes into the room and she finds the wife of Stooky Bill, who's speaking a rhyme. Really nice and creepy, right? And the Stooky Bill's kids flying from above, and they attack Donna, and she beats her head, essentially, right? And then the Doctor and her find each other again. How do you know it's a real Doctor and her? We don't know. So this is I think, again, I think it shows you how great Neil Patrick Harris is. One second, we'll move it forward so we get that clip. Yeah. The worldwide premiere.
Tona Noble, this is for you. Let me tell you what happened when the doctor, he was leaving you. He met eine friend called Amy Pond, and he loved Amy Pond. Yes, he be liking the redheads. And they went to and fro in time and space.
I don't know what it is I find about his performance that is so mesmerizing. How often would I watch and rewatch this? Never. Never. Again, I'm going to rate it amongst the other David. Never. I am not rebuying. I'm so glad I didn't buy these Blu-rays. I am never rebuying this, right? Never rewatching it. I doubt it, but I just did finish watching Kings of Arizona. Exactly. Stuff like somebody else in the chat said for the 60th, I watched Remembrance of the Daleks. What a great anniversary story that was, right? Flyhammer said, "Oh yeah, I did. I didn't get the point. The salt thing. The first Doctor literally said he expected the toy maker to turn. Why would they bother using the salt as a reason for it came back? I don't know. It was I kind of like what Rusty Davis was doing there about the soft nature of reality and fantasy at the edge of the universe. I that's very artistic, if you want, right? But it doesn't make so much. But a lot of this doesn't make sense.
But Amy Pond was touched by the weeping angel, and she died.
She died of old age.
Well, that's all right then.
Right, and basically they do that going through all the companions. Like, she was touched by touched by a raven and she died, and she's still alive in the last second of life. Right, and well, that's all right then, right? And they keep saying, Amy Pond, and then Bill Potts said the consciousness survived. Yeah, well, that's all right then. And then they bring in the flux, right? And about how much the flux has really freaked me out, about how all these planets that were all destroyed, right? And the Doctor blames himself. You should do, right? Now, again, in the fanfic, I've decided I'm writing for a we're gonna have AI Peter Capaldi reading it. It's going to have the toy maker materialize in this realm in 1916, I think it was, when the Christmas Armistice was. And at the same time, Capaldi's regenerating. And that's why, and then mess with his reality, right? Change it up completely. And I think I'll mention the flux is that flux happened, but it was like it destroyed, 20, 30 planets opposed to like three-quarters of the universe, and that's why you have all these continuity errors, which I'll maybe let the toy maker deliberately left in just to mess them. So anyway, the David Tennant Doctor goes, "I challenge you to a game," and he's like, the toy maker's like, oh yes, right. So again, here in this other great little scene where they essentially retcon away the Timeless Children. Yeah, we'll do I have that? Timeless Children.
A little moment here, which makes me think that here there's the moment where the toy maker says, "I made a jigsaw out of your history."
Oh yeah.
Which again is part of this whole loosening the rules. The Doctor first, was the Doctor half human when he was Paul McGann?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a timeless child? Is he this? It just relaxes the rules, say he is whatever you want it to be.
Right.
But again, so this is the new law moving forward, that it reforms. I think it would have worked better if the episodes would have been better and more engaging than they were. But they relied so heavily on spectacle and Tennant and Tate rather than script, right? And it really, the script I found was lacking.
It could be the toy maker's puzzle. That could be interfered, or it's all true, and it is all true, but it just opens the canon a bit,
And when
right here, I'll get you. So I'll get the clip so you can see the line. Be over here. No, it won't.
I came to this universe with such delight. And I played them all, Doctor. I toyed with supernovas.
Right, it gets a little bit blasphemous. I mean, I beat God.
History. Did you like it?
Yeah, anyway, that was it.
Master was dying, and I toyed with supernovas, turned galaxies into spin tops. I gambled with God and made him a jack-in-the-box. I made a jigsaw out of your history. Did you like it?
Right. So again, that's essentially retconning away the timeless child. And then he says the Master isn't going to be back for the next 2 seasons, but they seeded his return already.
The Master was dying and begged for his life with one final game. And when he lost, I sealed him for all eternity inside my gold tooth.
Yeah. Good stuff, right? This is good stuff. Man, does it fall apart quickly though? Right? Does it fall apart insanely quickly? So they play a game. Doctor pulls an 8. Toymaker pulls a king. Said, "Oh, I've won! I'm the winner! He said, "Okay, so it's 1-1 at this point, right? 1-1. I won 1, you won 1, right? And so all game players say the same thing. Best of 3. And so the Toymaker says, then it will be 2023, and then everything collapses. They run out, and that's it. This is where there's one other great scene, but this is essentially where the episode falls apart. And I wish it was 90 minutes long, right? Or I wish they had introduced the Toymaker at the beginning of Star Beast, right? Let's stop with the bullshit with Yasmin Finney being a beautiful woman, which she isn't, right? Stop with that and build up your fucking characters. Make this character work. If you carry this character over a few episodes, it will be more of a threat when they finally met, right? There's not enough time to build, right? We've had about 30 minutes. That's not enough time to build up the threat level that you want it to be, right? Which is a real shame, right? It's a real pity. It just fell apart. And again, it doesn't, in my mind, doesn't really work that well because of that. If it was a 90-minute special, I think it would have had much more power, right? I really do. And again, they wanted that. We're going to get to it when we get to the bi-generation. But they wanted to have the future Doctor with the current Doctor, or the current Doctor with a future Doctor, instead of the other way around for a multi-Doctor special. And I think, again, the way they really could have done it is have the Sudi Gut was Doctor maybe in the past and him in the present, and they meet up. Anyway, so he falls down into this little tiny box. They go back to 2023, and they fire the big space laser at the Chinese satellite. Boom! Right? And signal terminated. Doctor arrives back with this, says, look after this, Demel. Another great scene, right? So they're talking about the Toymaker, how he can't beat him, how he's like an eternal force. And he shows up, and yeah, look, man, this scene it's awesome, right? Hang on 1 second. It is crazily awesome. And Neil Patrick Harris, on the making of it, says, like, everybody knew the song apart from me. Like, every English person knows the song. This is it's fantastic. Neil Patrick Harris is fantastic. The effects are fantastic. Everything about this works, right? So this reminds me very much of the Q episode of Star Trek Next Generation, where you think Q's, was it Q who maybe? Where you think Q's going to be killed and he turns back up when he's got the mariachi band with him. It's got that vibe to it, but it's actually a lot better.
Smiling, dancing, everything is free. All you need is positivity.
So, I mean, and he's so good at it, because Neil Harris said, look, I'm not a dancer. He was terrified during all this. And again, it's funny when he said, everybody in England knows the song. It's so strange. And like the playfulness and the silliness of it, and the threat level, it's really great, right? It's I think probably one of the best reinventions of a classic villain I've ever seen. right? I would need another half hour of it, frankly, and it would have knocked this thing into out the stratosphere. I would have been fine with the bi-generation, I should say. It's no more wacky than the Watcher turning up, in my mind. It just didn't really work out that well. Yeah, they definitely used Bonnie Langford's song and dance score over here. Oh, that must have been a stunt woman, right? Okay, but when they first, okay, so then they start attacking him, and it gets even better.
Detain him! No, don't!
This is brilliant, right? I'm going to wind this back to you. Like, I love what he's doing with his legs. It's so crazy.
Detain him! No, don't!
I mean, that's so sinister and so wonderful. But again, this is somebody who liked the Rasputin dance, right? Robert Payne says the bi-generation retired a lineage of the Doctor. No, it didn't retire. It gave you a whole other lineage, and it was. I'm saying the bi-generation in of itself isn't more wacky than the Watcher. However, it's a billion times more destructive. It rips up canon. 100%. Look at this, though. I mean, it's so chilling. It's great. Okay, so then they start firing, and it gets even crazier.
I'm sorry. Just stop it. Let me talk to him.
Open fire! Take him out! Take him out!
I mean, that's great. I mean, like, this is the same kind of level of suicide. Okay, again, I can't enthuse that, but having a fantastic scene, which I think this was, Deja Code, PD Rich, thank you, doesn't a great episode make? Unfortunately. But it's incredible how fast this episode falls apart after this scene. Again, this is just all fine. So we have that again. Then it implodes. Then it implodes in a way that you can't even imagine anything imploding, right? I was like, and you were kind of blown away by the bravado of this, right? Which is very much the 2005-2010 Rusty Tennant, right? So they're trying to find him. And he's got the big laser, right? Well, we knew he's going to have. We saw the title, so we saw the trailer. So Addy comes, and they're like, "No, don't! No, I'm going to shoot you all." There's quite a little heroic speech from Tennant here. So, why are you so small, right? You can do anything. You can, and you're just playing with people. You turn bullets into flowers. We can make them all better. And Tennant officers kind of like, Come with me. We will play on a celestial level, right? And then, which is essentially what it is. But then Neil Patrick Harris says, I just love Earth, right? I love how crazy humans are. They make a game of bricks dropping on other bricks, and then they have the games of the ghosting and the cancellation, and then really, again, for me, I think this is all knockout park stuff, but it's too light. Right, we're at the denouement right now, and we missed about half an hour. Right, if we had an extra half hour to build this up, it would have been stellar. Right, and then maybe with that extra half hour, you could have had nods to previous Doctors or future Doctors. Right, and more Neil Patrick Harris. Right, you could have done an extra half hour would have been better than the entire Star Beast or. I would rather have one 90-minute special than the three we got, right? Because this just lacked power, right? So he just says, who should I get next? And he's like, no, your fight's with me. And he said, okay, then. But the rules of your game, the first game I played with an early doctor. This game I played with you by your rules, I must play this one with the next doctor. And so whips him with this laser. And honestly, it takes too long for the doctor to die right now, right? And then we have the bioregeneration, and it's like it just goes off a cliff, like instantly at that point. Alonzi, he says, and then he doesn't regenerate. So he gets Mel and Donna say, "Can you pull? Right, pull and blink." Again, the point of this, according to Ross Lee Davis, is because he likes the idea of a multi-doctor story, but he wants the future doctor interacting with him. So what's going on here, apparently, is that David Tennant's 14th Doctor doesn't regenerate into Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor here. This is another timeline being created, not another time, another entity, because it's all in the same timeline. Another bi-generation, right? It's a doubling of David Tennant's Doctor, but the Ncuti Gatwa Doctor, which is the next one. So we basically, it's essentially a clone Doctor. It's yeah, and like, do you remember how William Hartnell's Doctor beat the toy maker by stealth and cunning, right? This one, they play a game of ball, right? And it's just a bit stupid, right? So they challenge him to a game of ball, and it's just the writing's weak, right? The writing in this is weak. It's not strong. Here, let's have a look at what Rusty Davis has to say about the new law and the by regeneration. Here, multi-doctor special. We'll start there.
Well, but I would say multi-doctor special, double it, but to have the next one with the previous one, I've always wanted to do.
I remember you talking to me about wanting to do one where, for a little bit, he changes and then changes back to
like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yes, you had
that's nice.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde version.
Next time, lovely.
Which would be wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's interesting. If you take Gridlock and you say that's a Rusty Davis doing 2000 AD as clone is what I'm looking for, Dave Marlin. Yes, that's exactly what word I'm looking for. Thank you. Rusty Davis doing Doctor Who as 2000 AD, like they're very like Mega City 1, Wacky City. This is much more like Rusty Davis doing Doctor Who as Chris Claremont Chris Claremont X-Men. Right? It's just so wacky and so out of there.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
So then he talks about this new law, and it's really weird. Right? It's just really weird.
He should be here, really. He should be commentating with us. It's like, I mean, how mad for him. I could put words in his mouth, but what a set to walk on.
Yeah, he just walked on and started.
Yeah, again, I kind of prefer it when the Doctor has to have a lay down, a good cup of tea, right? Audemars says the 15th Doctor told the 14th Doctor to literally push. I know. Oh, echoing Mel's giving birth. Yeah, you're right. That did happen, right? It did happen. 3 men throwing ball on the top of a phallic building is surely a Jungle and Gay dream worth analysis. I hadn't thought of that, but you're probably right there, Mark Kavanagh. You probably are spot on. I didn't think about that at all.
Because I always think it's like, there's been enough of that. Oh, I'm regenerated. I feel a bit ill. I'm going to put you in bed for an episode. Yeah.
I don't think there has been enough of that. I think that's like comfortable and like makes people feel good, right? Makes people feel like they're in something that they know and understand and like. I don't think there's been enough too much of that. I really don't. I really genuinely
Yeah, having done that, it's like, you
He
can't.
just runs in and up he goes.
It was so nice, the sort of joy of this, yeah.
And the fact that Bonnie's there, I love that.
Yeah.
In this bit of Doctor Who history, Mel is standing.
Yeah.
I mean, Donna, yes, obviously, but to have Mel there is just so nuts. So then,
right. I do agree with you, but He's going to talk about the law in a
Well, whole
second.
timeline degenerated then.
That was it in that moment.
Yes,
The toy maker did
Mr.
it.
McCoy woke up in a drawer in a morgue.
Right, they'll say that Sylvester McCoy's doctors wake up in a drawer in the morgue. All the other, the two lines full. Right? Does it make any sense? No. But again, it doesn't make less sense than Regeneration when he first saw it. The crime of this is essentially on a artistic level, it failed. Right? I mean, I'm not. It could have worked, right? But again, he's too concerned about wheelchair ramps in the TARDIS over character and story, right? And I really think that's the issue.
In San Francisco.
Unfortunately, nobody's got him out yet. So he's still in there.
Constantly regenerating. Dies over and over again.
And like, really, can you should he put some bloody clothes on for once, for God's sake?
And John Pertwee woke up on the floor of the laboratory.
Right, yeah.
Colin Baker got up and sorted the Rani out.
Yes, he did.
Did all of that.
Colin Baker got up and sorted the Rani out. Well, okay. Well, lucky old Rani, or lucky old Colin Baker.
Oh, interesting. There you go. Most of those, the modern doctors, just end up in their own TARDIS. So Peter Capaldi just woke up in the TARDIS. You and your 10th version is also still out there.
Yes.
Just woke up in the TARDIS because they've all been.
And you know, like I keep seeing. Remember the Who Spy stuff when you saw like bits of set, and you're like, well, who cares? Well, now you see it in context. You go, well, who cares?
Does that mean there's
not in the TARDIS?
Does that mean there's 3 of me now?
Yeah.
No, the last one, his wasn't in the test, was it? It was outside.
TARDIS Beast. And here you go, playing a game.
I'm the doctor.
So yeah, it's so the Doctor cloned and doubled essentially, and then they played ball with the toy maker. And Shooty beat him at one point. And he misses the ball. He said, no, for my prize, I'm going to banish you forever from reality. He folds out a piece of paper, and the crisis is over, right? Okay, this scene is, I thought they were going to snog, right? I genuinely thought the Doctor was going to snog, right? Where is it? And we get into the whole point of why David Tennant, why this regeneration is David Tennant's face. Right, and then the toy maker's influence vanishes from here we go. Like he said, "Oh, you look so tired."
I'm here.
I don't feel reassuring about Shooty Gatwa holding me. I feel that's a bit gay rapisty. Or more groomy, right? Right. This is the moment. They're playing it like a couple of lovers who are about to tongue each other, right? And they are. And I thought that was going to happen. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a bit gay. That's a bit gay. It's a bit gay, mate. I don't want to tell you. And everything from this point, which is 15, 20 minutes ago, is I would say indulgent filler. Oh, the toy maker's gold tooth the master is trapped in, picked up by an unseen hand, probably Jinx Monsoon, right? Back in the TARDIS, he's showing him around, said, well, this is the field links, this is that, but how's it going to work with 2 of us? So then Shooty and Donna explain to the Doctor what's really going on. It's that, why did you regenerate into this face? Because you needed to come and find me, because you needed to retire. You needed to rest, right? You needed to recuperate. So when you eventually do regenerate, you'll be into the mellow, carefree form of Shooty Gatwa, right? Essentially, you're saying the flux just messed him up too much, and so he needs to take time off, right? So it's like, well, I can't leave the TARDIS. So, oh, no, maybe I have an idea. And this is just, I think it's bollocks. He pulls out this massive cartoon mallet from inside the TARDIS. And that maybe the toy maker's realm is still, power is still going. How? I'm serious. That makes 0 sense, mate. Right? Less than 0 sense. Well, he whacks the TARDIS with the mallet. Yeah, 1 second. And again, in my estimation, he plays it very gay. Right? Where is it? This one.
Wish me luck. What for? We won the game. You get a prize, honey.
Yeah, I don't like the honey, right? I don't like the honey. You get a prize, honey. It's just like, it's a bit too gay. So now they got 2 TARDISes. And this is a clone one, and it's got a wheelchair ramp, and it's so fucking boring. You know, I thought the TARDIS would we never saw K9 get in and out the TARDIS. We just figured something happened. It didn't matter. But no, and like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. You waste so much time with this, what I would call ridiculous pandering, right? I mean, that's how I would describe it. Ridiculous pandering. Yeah, what's it? Did I? It was what's the name? Ruth Medley, I think, had a tweet about it. Here, let's see if we can find it, because it really is. It's just it's such a waste, right? Ruth Medley. Oh, is this it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, share screen. Dying. So Rue Madeleine said, for every disabled kid who's going to get into the TARDIS ramp, it's forever yours. Nobody ever said, oh, if they won't be able to get in the... It never happened. I'm sorry. It never, ever happened. And nobody hates anybody who uses a wheelchair. Like, I don't know where this insane imagined prejudice comes from. Nobody goes, oh, those wheelchair cunts. Nobody does that. Right? Nobody does that. Because it'll be weird if you did. Right? It would be bonkers weird if you did. And they did. Fine. So now, again, look. Every look looks kind of like coyingly gay. Right? So he looks around the TARDIS. This one has a jukebox. And then he goes back to his one. Shooter goes in and starts dealing with the controls, getting ready to take off. And he says, you're not going to go and say without saying goodbye to me. I said, of course not, honey. Give me a big hug. He's a very huggy doctor. He's a very gay doctor, I think. I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll see, I guess. But it looks like it. So he's taking off, and he tells them to get out. Off they go. And they see the TARDIS vanish. So then it ends very much like True Blood, which is not an approbation. Right, so at the end of True Blood, they're having this family dinner. The vegan stuff is in the black pot, and there's sort of different kind of things, right? They're having a potluck thing, and so they're talking, and the doctor's talking about the planet where people communicate with their eyebrows that John Pertwee mentioned, right? I think in Spear from Space. Mel turns up and oh, Rose, you're a lovely woman. But I have to tell you, this rips me out of the fantasy instantly. Because I'm right in 2023 insanity where I'm being told this bloke is a woman. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not just going to bend over on this one. I'm sorry I'm not going to go, well, okay. I'm sorry I'm not going to be bullied into silence. I don't think this person's a woman. Right, and I think it's really detrimental to try and propagandize that this person is a woman. Now, I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying I don't think people with penises are women. And I don't think that should be a controversial thing to say, but it is. Anyway, so David Tennant now lives with them. He says, oh, I got my niece and I got my brother-in-law. There's Donna's wife, my sister, my mother-in-law, and my mad auntie Mel, right? And you have this it's a nice little scene, but it's too slight, right? I'm sorry. It was that for me, it didn't carry in any emotional weight, right? Again, I'm coming out with some negativity from both Star Beast and Wild Blue Yonder, but also I'm trying to look at this critically and fairly. And so he said, look, this is the happiest bit in my life, just going to hang out here, even though occasionally he does go nip off on the TARDIS and take people to Mars or Paris or whatever. Meanwhile, Shooty Gut was running around the TARDIS, already excited to go. Destination Christmas. So what's going to be at Christmas? Who the hell knows, right? Who the hell knows? It seems like it's going to be pretty gay Doctor Who. Yeah, I think pretty gay Doctor Who. I think I think that's a fair description of what this new era will be. Let's have a look at the trailer for the Christmas episode. Now, Christmas, of course, I'll do the pre-show and the after show. So, and then I'll do the in-depth review the next day. Seems very J.K. Rowling to me, right? Seems very, very J.K. Rowling. Where is it? Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where's the trailer? Oh, here, Christmas trailer. There you go. Doink. Yeah, dude, this looks like Queer as Folk. I'm sorry. And I don't like it. Right? I don't like it, right? Is Jinx a new master? Who the hell knows? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Merry Christmas.
See, this looks good in Doctor Who. You're like, why do I have to have the fruity bit of him dancing in a gay club at the beginning?
I'm the Doctor.
What's up there?
Goblins.
Oh, yeah?
Time travelers are...
Now, I have to say, a lot of people are like, oh, it's too silly, right? It's too silly. I think it's fine. Right? I think Doctor Who has room where it can be a bit fantasy, silly.
great. Like, wow. Ah! Hold on tight.
Who are you?
Yeah, I just hope the scripts. I don't think the Christmas one will have, but I just hope the scripts get more detailed, right? More layered, have more depth to them, because this really didn't, right? This really didn't in a big way, right? And I don't think it did very well either. Let's find the ratings. Doctor Who ratings accumulator. I assume it's been updated. Let's have a look. Yeah, not good. Not good. And for some reason, we get the 7-day ratings about 10 days now. Look. Doink. So it's a major decline, right? It's lost 500,000 in 2 weeks. It's a major decline, and that's with Tate and Tennant. This number's wrong apparently. It's 5.33, not 7.33, not 7.61. But okay, it's so what do I think will be the bump for Special 2? Let me think. Now, wrong with my prediction for the ratings. I said I thought they'll go up. I really thought it'll be up over 5.08. I think it would be the highest of the 3-episode season. So if they had a 2.53 jump, they can't expect more than that. So I'll use my phone, right? Well, that's the way we'll do it, right? Why am I trying to do this in my head? 7.61 minus 5.08 equals 2.53 plus 4.83. So that comes out. If they have the same boost on iPlayer, they'll get you 7.36. I think it's going to be less than that. I think you're looking at 7.1. Right? I think like 7.1. I don't know. Maybe the catch up will be more for Special 3. Maybe we'll do, but I really think the consolidated ratings for Shooty, if it's not fantastic, you're looking at Jodie numbers, right? Essentially, you're going to be looking at Jodie numbers, which is not good. Right? It makes the whole exercise really kind of moot and pointless, right? Here, let's have a quick look at this, which says out the bi-generation thing more clearly. Diving into said commentary, we hear Davis explain that David Tennant shooting out was split into two, a whole timeline bi-generated. The writer then suggests that each previous regeneration was impacted by the bi-generation, with every old Doctor now surviving his demise in a splinter timeline. So I think this is what Travels with the TARDIS is all about. I think the Doctor, I think all the Doctors come back to life with their individual TARDISes, the gift of the toy maker, and there wasn't a gift of the toy maker, right? And they're out traveling around in what a quick Doctorverse. Okay. It sounds like bollocks. I mean, honestly, look, this new era of Doctor is really just not for me. I don't really think it's Doctor Who, right? I don't think there's been Doctor Who since Capaldi, right? That's basically where we are with it. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.